Yeah. That. What is up?
Oh, that was rough looking.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. We just finished watching Borderlands. Brad was gracious enough to... Wait, did you rent or buy this?
I bought it.
He bought it, so...
Own it forever.
He owns it forever.
Rip.
So during this episode, we're just going to cut in between showing some of our reactions to stuff. Obviously, I don't want to get to copyright, whatever, but it was scuffed. So... I want Jack's reaction first because Jack initially, long time ago, he talked about this movie coming out. He said, like, I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be okay. And then me and Brad showed a lot of caution.
I was excited for it until I saw the casting.
Right.
And I saw that it was PG-13.
Okay. Now that we've watched all of it, Jack, tell me right now how you feel about this movie.
Not great.
Never recommend.
I didn't recommend it. Well, hold on. I did say we should watch it and do a reaction.
Give me a grade, like right now.
Out of what, 10?
Out of 10. How you want to scale it? A, whatever, letter grade, whatever. Give me the grade.
A C.
You are
or out of 10, a 3.
Being generous.
My man is generous, dude. I think
3.
I honestly think, Jack, dude, if we're doing like a scale of a C, a 3's not going to be it, man. Like, Chibi, what did you think?
Yeah, it was pretty painful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, just even bypassing, the discrepancies in the casting. I just think, like, from a perspective of never playing the game, I think the movie just was very lackluster. I'd give it like a 2.5 or a 3. Like, I definitely would say like a D-, D.
Brad, because you bought the movie, and I feel bad for you. I mean, you only wasted like $14, right? Because I mean, it was a $6 rental. No, dude, how much did you pay, bro? I will reimburse you.
No, I think it was like I think it was like
$18.
$18.
$18.
It's cool. It's whatever.
What did you think? Give me the grade first, off 1 to 10.
Okay, the grade. Okay, let's see. What's a negative square root? No, 3 to 4, somewhere 3.5. I'm gonna say 3.5.
Right.
It could have been worse. Like, it could have been worse. There were a few moments so I was like, okay, that was
Yeah.
either funny or that was like a cool 30-second clip there. But they just have so much content to pull from and so many characters. And one, they didn't cast the characters that they had well, and they didn't use the 97 other characters that they really could have expanded, or not even really expanded, just a cameo, like just
they could have used the original Borderland cast and it would have been fine. They could have put Mordecai and Brick in there. I feel like the more complex they try to be, the worse it was for the film. Like, they tried to inject a lot of like really serious moments that didn't connect at all because the characters like literally lacked any like tangible connection to one another. And it's just like even the opening sequence was very awkward.
Yeah,
right?
No, I agree.
The rescue of Tina in the Atlas facility, and then like Creek, for some reason they put him in this. They have a glass fucking, cell. Why is he in a glass? I'm not gonna. Okay. Cell door for him to break out of like almost instantly.
Out of.
Right. And then they try to force some weird connection between Knox and Roland without actually trying to connect anything other than you just inferring that they worked under one another. Or
yeah, and it was one of those where I was like, this feels very like out of left field. Like, I feel like I don't have enough background knowledge to like really understand what's going on between them.
Like, I don't want to say it's like, this is not a good film, like in the slightest. It's like a 2 for me. I'm not saying it's the worst video game movie I've ever seen, but like literally, like most people who've played the game more than likely didn't want to film for it in the first place because it's not connected like that or set up to build a film. It's not. Right?
No, it's hard to make a film off of that.
Borderlands 2 maybe, but like the side DLC, or Brad was kind of referring to when we were watching the movie, Tales of the Borderlands, which is made by Telltale Games. It's essentially just like, a kind of a visual novel somewhat, right? Where you get to make certain choices and decisions, but it feels so much more connected and personal with the world and things that are happening, and it features characters from the universe. But this was like, and I love Eli Roth, man. And like, I love all his horror stuff because he did like Cabin Fever. He does a lot of like really violent films like Hostel, stuff like that. And every time he kind of dips away from horror, it is mixed results. And I feel like this was one of those movies where I watched it and went, we didn't have to do this, man. And every character felt miscast. Atlas, every character, like, and also like some of the villains just were like, Atlas was super generic. He's just like some random dude in a suit,
right? And you have one of the greatest villains, I believe, in video games, in Handsome Jack.
Oh,
Handsome Jack, like
just there's not even a mention. There's no. I understand he comes later in the game series,
but he's connected to Atlas because he's an executive, and like it's kind of weird because like when you're watching, this movie felt like it was meant for like fans of the games. Like if you knew references, if you knew characters, if you knew who Marcus was or Moxie and all that stuff, you're like, fuck yeah, that's great. But if you're just watching the movie, it's kind of weird for Roland to walk up and be like, Tina, and he's like, oh, Krieg? Like, Krieg plays like the weirdest role in this movie where he's just trying to be comic relief, but I'm like, his character's so much more nuanced in the fucking game, which is really hard to say because he's like this big psychopath, but his inner monologue is fantastic. Like it really kind of humanizes the character, and here it just takes away from that stuff.
Yeah, I felt like he was just there.
He's a background character, just a really buff dude who can swing a big axe and
I liked him.
Yeah, I mean, like the other thing was like the CG was mixed. There's some fucking terrible green screen in this movie. Like awful. This is like me. I was trying not to laugh, but there's also some really like awkward stunts. I don't know if it was I have to rewatch like the footage, but I'm pretty sure that was like when they were sliding when they first met Tina. I have to see if that was either CG or a stunt. I couldn't tell. It
looked bad. No, that's what I was talking about when it happened. I was like, ooh, that, like even I was like, ooh.
I'm not a stunt coordinator, but I'm pretty sure people don't roll like that. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that was bad.
Like it was, once again, it's like one of those things like you make it for the fans, but there are probably fan films that Jack and I have watched that were of a higher quality than this. It felt more connected. I mean, still 90 minutes, right? But it's like a lot of it felt wasted. I think the other thing was the action in it was, fuck, that was bad, dude. That was like was like 90s B movie bad with Steven Seagal like waving his hands around and people's necks breaking. Or him like turning
the fucking twist of
Tina when she snapped somebody's neck.
Dude, it literally was just like me going, dude, like where's the finesse? Where's the pizzazz?
But anytime they were shooting at characters, right? It was like they would like hard cut into stuff. And there's a whole scene where, what's Lilith's character?
Lilith.
They like a whole scene where she was shooting at Krieg. I thought she shot him in the stomach, but I couldn't tell. Wait, did she shoot him in the stomach?
No, she definitely did. That's why
she did, and nothing happened.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't fucking crazy.
No, I saw that too, and I was like, "Oh, is he like immune to bullets?"
And then there was an entire scene with the bloodshots, right?
And it got in his arm.
And then so like no, not that, but where Cate Blanchett is like posing while shooting. So I'm like, this is fucking Devil May Cry Bayonetta type shit, and it's not even good looking. It looked very awkward, very like stilted. Like she looked. She's doing that.
She literally shoot pause.
I mean, they took every moment they could within the movie for her to pose.
It's like a JoJo's character.
Listen, that bitch pose was nasty. That's what she was doing the whole time. She was just, I mean, when you model, I guess. But even those connected scenes, Brad had brought this up. Like, you have Cate Blanchett and Tannis, right? So Tannis in the games is young. She's like late 20s, early 30s. Lilith, I assume, is the same way. But like they try to build this connection like they knew each other. Like Tannis picked her up or whatever off the planet. And we're like, so Jamie Lee Curtis, who's in her 60s, and Kate Blanchett, who's in her 50s. Like, are we talking like a 10-year difference? Because in that scene where she's getting airlifted, that looked like a 30-year difference or so, like a 30 to 40-year difference. And we're just like, what's going on in this movie? Like, they just, once again, it's like they supercut all the best hits of Borderlands. Like, let's show the Thresher Maw, and let's show Sanctuary, and let's show No Connection to any of that stuff. And none of it hit. Like, that was my biggest problem. And then, like, when it got into the big CGI fights, I mean, it looked bad. There was that one scene where they were literally driving and chasing them through like a little tunnel, and it showed. I swear to God, I'm gonna have to play that. It looked like it showed the same 4 fucking vehicles driving through a tunnel. Like they went through Blender and like copy paste.
Ken's like, all right, we've seen all we need to see. Probably did.
Excellent, sir. A day's work, indeed.
In 2 minutes.
Did it like so, Jack? Was there anything redeeming about the film? That's gonna be for everybody. But do you guys think there was anything redeeming?
Yeah, it's. I mean,
I have an answer.
Brad kind of already said it while we were watching, but the claptrap model was actually really good.
I like how we're honing in on the detail of a character.
I was gonna say that was my answer. Just claptrap.
Other than that, Craig was probably pretty close.
But
second,
but it really was. But it really was.
I don't understand why he was there. Like
they could have
that whole plot was the first game, and he was a DLC character to the second game. He wasn't even in the second game.
It could have been Brick would have made sense. Like Brick in that moment would have made perfect sense to have him, and they could have had Mordecai and Bloodwing like as a sniper scout, whatever, who like picks him up or something like that. It just. The inclusion of Krieg was weird. Like I said, like there's an inner monologue that is so important to that character. And then you take it away, it's like he's just some big fucking, body. You know what I mean?
Boonga, boonga.
So Chibi said claptrap. Brad, you said claptrap too.
Yeah.
You know what the redeeming part of this movie is? When it fucking ends. That's what that was. I felt amazing relief when it was like, dear God. Dude, it was really hard to get through this film. Like, and comparatively, like there are video game movies that are bad, like Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City, but that's a fun film too. Like it like does some really fun stuff. It just has a lot of stupid fucking moments, or like Doom, right? Like The Rock made Doom fun, and Carl Urban. Right. I love that.
So, yeah. So I think I've mentioned this before in previous reactions or reviews that we've done, but. This obsession with trying to make a fantasy world live action and like trying to make it realistic or like natural, there are things that should not do that. And this is definitely one of those. I mean, I think that cell shaded aesthetic is amazing. They already have the Tales games. So it's like they have built out stories. They have so many characters. They have like 10 DLCs and 3 spin-off games. And like there is so much content that they could have used in a animated world, and it, they could have used the same style. It could have been actual Gearbox that made the movie, like actually developed the game or the movie. Like I feel like there's so many different ways. And Jack mentioned a PG-13. It would have been a much better R-rated movie. Even when Knox got vaporized, there was
no one else laughed, but I thought that was the funniest shit ever because
it surprised me.
No blood.
Well, no. The problem was that when they introduced Knox, she's essentially just a face. We don't know shit about her. We don't know about anything about Atlas, her connection with Roland. And then they have her show up a couple times as this generic fucking villain who's chasing them. And then we get to that point where she like randomly shows up, looks at Roland, and was like, "No, everyone stop." And then she gets blasted. I thought that was the funniest shit I've ever seen. Now, her death was like really badly visualized too, like the way she just atomized. But that was the funniest shit because you tried to take a character with no emotional connection in the slightest. They don't talk about a background between her and Roland. They don't say shit. And then she like looks over at him lovingly and then gets blasted. He screams, but there's no afterthought to that. After like once the battle like ends and everyone's gone, there's no like I gotta have a beer for fucking Knox. You know what I mean? None of that shit. So there's no post mortem there.
Damn.
Oh my God.
You should have shut the fuck up. Is what happened.
That's the problem. They made a really fucking unintentionally funny moment from what should have been a non-funny moment. Also, our favorite scene in the movie, without a doubt, I think, was when fucking Lilith disses Tina, and it is like, I don't know if it was meant to come off that way.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, you're special in your own way.
Like,
yeah.
that.
You say that. I don't know now either, because at first I thought it was intentional, but now I'm like, maybe it wasn't.
When I'm
you're
special, cute. Just not the way you thought.
When I'm seeing that part in the film, and Tina puts her arms out and then looks out, and then fucking, Lilith teleports in, and Tess is like, oh my God, you are Iridian. And then she's like, no, but I'm supposed to be special. I thought that was going to be a villain turn for Tina, by the way. Like, she's like, it's supposed to be me, and she has like a psychotic break. But Lilith delivers that line. Cate Blanchett delivers that line in a really sweet way, but it seems so brutal in the way that she's acting too. She's like, you are special, just not in the way you think you are. It's like that kid's whole world just crumbled.
But I'm special.
Who you are.
No, you're just crazy.
Just not the way you thought.
From you just saying that.
That kid is like the equivalent of someone who thought they were going to be like this big movie star or this big sports name, and it's not you, kid. It's me. I'm the lottery winner. Go sit the fuck down.
You're the B-list.
Can you imagine though if they took that and took that moment and took advantage of it by making it to when, like you said, when Tina turns into the psycho that she is in the game.
I would have loved that, because it would have been like this identity crisis, right? Like,
I feel like it would have matched though too.
But she's and this is like one of the problems, Jack. You kept bringing this up. Is that like one of Tina's biggest issues, that it just felt like a character, like someone who didn't like enjoy anything, didn't have like a real attachment to what the character was in the games.
No,
right?
Not at all.
There's Tina is this mentally broken character, right? Who has this real attachment to Roland. And this is a spoiler, Chi, because you never watch it. So Roland dies in Borderlands 2. He gets shot in the stomach, right? Aww. So when he dies, Tina, who's like seriously attached to him, has like a psychotic break. So there's an entire DLC where Tina is playing D&D, right? It's like, I forget what it's actually called, Dungeons and Tables, whatever the fuck they're calling it in the game. But she's playing this game, and Lilith, Brick, and Mordecai are like, Tina, you gotta stop. And she starts panicking because Roland's dead. So she's like trying to disassociate and trying to keep everyone at arm's length with Roland's death, right? And then it's like, it's just her like kind of letting go. That's what the point of the entire DLC is: accepting the death, grieving, and then letting go. That does not show up at all with these characters. Borderlands, like they essentially took a character who was a meme. That's what Tiny Tina was in the games. And they gave her real substance, and that was really hard to do, and it was really well done. But like Brad said, you can't take this live action stuff and then not be able to pick and choose your lane, right? You're just trying to scattershot everything and say like, okay, cool. Borderlands fans are going to enjoy this. We might get a couple of fans to like this, maybe. There's a YouTube I follow. It's called they're called Screen Junkies. No, not Screen Junkies, but he does a lot of
Screen rants.
Yeah, no. It's he does a lot of like he does like breaking down plots and stuff like that. He does it really funny, and his name's Ryan Grant. So what he does have these really funny skits. So he did Borderlands, and normally when he does movies, he'll do like spoiler alert. He didn't do that one for Borderlands because no one watched this movie. It didn't make a lot of money. And he literally broke down the plot. Like, he was just like, this thing does, like, none of this makes sense. A bunch of CGI fights. It felt lifeless. And, like, nothing really connected, right? And it's kind of like to Brad's point. You make these types of movies, and then, you know, you're essentially rolling the dice with, to Jack's point also, with big name actors. Like Cate Blanchett, Academy Award-winning actress. Jamie Lee Curtis, Academy Award-winning actress. Kevin Hart, very well-known comedian actor. Jack Black, right? And you're trying to get all that to work, and there's no chemistry. Like, Kevin Hart's character seems like the cliche action trope.
I was gonna say, felt very just
Right? He
generic,
tried to
like
deepen his voice
He
throughout
did.
it, which
Mhm.
was I love when Shek pointed that out. I didn't want to say anything. I was like, is he
No,
deepening?
I noticed it the same time Jack did. I was like, why did he say
I was
it
like,
so
is
deep?
this man code switching on on the film right now? And then Kate Blanchett, like, unfortunately, she's a really good actress, and there are scenes where I think she's effective, but she's also 20 years older than the actual target for the character.
Yeah.
And I think I said this to Brad. I don't think you need to have a known actress
Mhm.
play Lilith.
Oh no, not at all.
Because Kevin Hart can be like the draw, but you can fill out the cast with like up and coming actors, like people who are gonna like
Mhm.
put in like a new spin on stuff.
And
But
then you take that other money and you allocate it everywhere
and
else.
you allocate that money to the CG because I don't want to see bad green screen for like most of the film
The tunnel scene.
or inconsistent blender shit, you know? But
Oh god.
there's just like a ton of inconsistencies with the action. There was the scene where they're fighting in the tunnel and like, you know, Krieg or Roland shoots the fucking the
Pipes.
acidic
Acid
pipes,
pipe.
right?
Yep.
And then Krieg takes someone's head up to it, and then it's like it's clear that that acid is going to hit his arm and damage him, and he just didn't. And Brad's like, "No, that's he has a barrier on. You're fine. We just can't see the shield."
My question is, where's Roland's turret at? This would be a good time to use it.
That'd be kind of cool.
Throw it down, bro.
That's what that was. Like it felt like that. And then like for some reason, you know, he takes the explosive. They try to do a fake out death with Roland that didn't make any sense because we're
Yeah,
like,
because my thing is like they all were like on him essentially. So it's like, how did he get out of that in theory? You know what I mean?
nobody
I don't know.
knows, right? That's why you do off-screen stuff.
He's an elite soldier.
Yeah, he's an elite soldier. He'll be fine, you know. I'm still enslaved.
That was my favorite. I'm still enslaved.
And then, you know, unfortunately the person who played Tiny Tina, I'm sure she's a good actress and like whatever else she's done.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In this movie, it was not it. Let me tell you,
Oh.
that's my biggest qualm. I feel bad because I mean I can't fucking act, but like I felt like that was the biggest disconnect for me.
You could probably read lines better than that. That felt like
I'm not gonna lie, I might could. I think I could. I think I could embody Tina pretty well.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the clip and send it to you guys. So who here has watched American Pie?
A long time ago.
Okay. So the guy who plays it's like the jockey type character, his name's Kevin Kline,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So in the 90s when that movie made a lot of money, they pretty much were trying to like force a lot of them to like into different roles and stuff like that. And Kevin Kline got a role in Street Fighter, right? With Kristen Crook, who was, you know, she's still fine. But so he plays a character called Nash. He plays a character called Nash, who is a very important character in Street Fighter. And he acts in that in the, like, I'm talking the worst possible way. I think the dude wanted to get fired, but they still filmed it and put it out there, which essentially like stalled his career for a little bit. But yeah, it's not good. That's what this felt like. It felt like she was like saying stuff and trying to deliver the lines. And I understand, like, you know, what's written on paper, you got to do your best. But every time she delivered a certain line, it just felt like it was forced.
Yeah.
You know?
It just felt cringy.
Well, the same thing with like Kevin Hart stuff. It felt like he was just trying to be the one-liner action guy. And I was like, that just doesn't fit a guy who's normally a comedian. Like, I've seen Kevin Hart in shit where he can act. Like, he does a really fucking good job. And this is just...
Wasn't he in oh my god. Well, he was in Jumanji, right?
Yeah, but he's in this new show.
I thought he was good. Yeah, no, but I'm saying like that was I thought he was great in like that one. You know what I mean?
But it was like, you know, the only person who felt like they were honestly acting was Kate Blanchett. And Jamie Lee Curtis. I felt like those two were fine together.
Hey,
it's just,
give Claptrap some
just the age of
cred.
Claptrap was pretty much Jack Black clogging his nose. Wow.
But it was still great.
I mean, that's debatable. But I mean, regardless. I think to Brad's point though, this could have been a CG TV series.
I agree.
Like, I really thought by now there'd be like a rated R cut. There's got to be a rated R cut. There's no
I feel like honestly, if there was more blood and like in that sense and like action, like, you know, kind of more violent, I think it could have been a little bit better.
That's one of the things.
Borderlands is a violent game.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's the main draw is like you get to see like this really cool gore, and there was none of that. There was a Thrak that ate a dog, right? In one of the beginnings. That was cool. But that's like the most violent thing in the in the whole show. I mean, the Creek kills a guy where I think he just swipes at him and then he says, "No one kills me but me." And then we're like, did he cut his head off?
Yeah, we didn't know what he did.
I guess he hit him in the chest and he died.
Midsection, yeah.
But it was really funny because Brad, I have to fucking find that clip by when we're doing this. Is when Kate Blanchett Lewis shot her. It looked like she shot herself in the neck.
Yeah, in the neck. I saw that too. Yeah.
Brad's like, well, she's dead now.
I know, right?
Oh, she did.
Yeah, she didn't shoot herself. I thought she did too. Yeah, it's just like Arcane season 2 is out. This could have been done in like the same vein as Arcane because it has that cell shaded. That would have been amazing.
I feel like that would have been really good.
I think
it's not too late.
It's not too. No, it is too late. Like this.
No, they messed it up.
This is the type of movie that cost $130 million, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure the money went to the people, to the cast.
So this is probably my biggest like question was like, why release it now? Right? It's like way too late to promote Borderlands 3. Like all the DLCs are out and everything. And then Borderlands 4 has been announced, but I'm pretty sure we won't see that for another 2 years. So it's like
very good point. Very good point.
Do you think like not like to give you some content before, you know how it's like they're like feeding you before?
You want to do that though in conjunction with like a
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm just trying to rationalize it. Like why
but in pitch meeting, that's actually a YouTube thing. On pitch meeting, it was really funny. They're like, "Hey, who is this for?" And he gives this long speech. He's like, "You know what? It's like it's for that person who wanted to see a Borderlands film in 2010 when the movie came out and said, you know what? If we try to connect with that person, with Kevin Hart and Kate Blanchett and all these characters, then maybe, just maybe,
that we'll sell popular.
No, maybe, just maybe, we'll sell some tickets." And then he goes, "I don't think those people exist." And then it ends and it shows that this was a massive flop because I think it's like $120 million budget to $33 million made overall.
Yikes! I was gonna ask you what was gross. Holy shit!
Massive box office.
Oh my god! That's bad.
The Gearbox CEO said he's like, it's unfortunate how the movie turned out. He's like, but it did sell more games.
The games have always been solid. Like Borderlands 2 is obviously the best in the series. Like if you want to play Borderlands 2, do it. There's a bunch of DLC for it. I've put in hundreds of hours into it. Me and Chris have played hundreds of hours of Borderlands 3 together. I've beaten Tiny Tina's Wonderlands like 3-4 times. I like the games because they're like mindless looter shooters, but it's really hard to translate a looter shooter without like kind of delving into the Tales of the Borderlands series, which was like pretty well done in terms of like story, like a connected narrative. Like they were able to connect characters.
Even as much as controversial as the pre-sequel was, like I even think that plot would have been a really cool.
Yes. Yeah. That was cool, man, because it kind of shows you the origin for Handsome Jack. They just like, they completely fucking missed the mark. Like on this, it feels, I don't want to, I'll say it. It feels shameless. It feels like a cash grab, but once again, Brad said this, like, why now? You know what I'm saying? It's like, listen, I love Borderlands, but why now? That's essentially, and then you could say that about a lot of video game films, and this unfortunately falls into that. Like, the production quality is greatly heightened in comparison to a lot of things, right? But this is like, you have $130 million. Obviously, a lot of it went to the actors. But, like, dude, the CG, not great. The action feels disjointed. It felt like neutering Eli Roth from what he is usually good at, which is intense, violent gore, was a really fucking bad idea.
Should have been Michael Bay.
Should have been Michael Bay, brother. Michael Bay, he would have made a better film. I'm sorry.
Yeah, probably.
If you wanted bombastic explosions with some fucking little Mad Max dusted in, it's just, you know.
You would have saw some badonkadonk.
We would have saw some. Megan Fox would have shown up for no reason.
She would have been Tiny Tina.
Somebody in this movie is flashing a titty. Like, I'm just saying, that's how it's going to
be. She would have been the bartender.
You're going to get gross product placement. For some reason, everyone's drinking Pepsi in this fucking movie. They're also driving Dodge Mustangs. There's a whole section set in China, right? Because they have to promote to the Chinese audience. Michael Bay's got to get paid, and listen, you're gonna get like a bunch of people to watch it because it has like this big But yeah, they tried to like just shoehorn a bunch of stuff in, and then it just ended up failing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like super disappointed. I watched this movie, dude. There's a whole point where I literally watch Brad's reaction, and this is Brad a lot. Arms crossed, like, looking uncomfortable, or Jack's face where he's like,
I was the only one that was like,
I don't want to show mine because my head was down a lot. I was like, dude, please.
No, you have
to,
shit. Please. Just periodically show it.
It's killing me, man. I just don't know how else to say it. Like, you didn't make it rated R. You made it like bad PG-13. There's a way to make it borderline like rated R PG-13, but they didn't do that. Like, the CG deaths were like funny looking.
I mean, just coming from a guy like Eli Roth, it just doesn't make sense that he didn't make it rated R.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, where's the rated R cut, dude? Make that shit violent. Like, the Thresher Maw scene was dope, right? That was cool looking.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't know. I think the ramp just randomly appeared unless I was tripping when the ramp showed up.
I don't think that ramp was there.
I swear it wasn't, bro. And it just like...
Always there.
Maybe that was what they were leaning over at first, but I'm like, that doesn't make any sense when they back up, you know? Fuck physics. It's Borderlands, dude. But yeah, they just was not good in the slightest. So I'm not blaming Brad for this, you know? No. But I'm seriously fucking blaming Brad. How dare he?
I can't wait for the sequel.
He worked so hard. He worked so hard to set this up, Brad. We were trying to figure out how to like do it, and this will probably not get monetized because I'm gonna probably get sued for copyright, so it doesn't even matter. This will probably air for like 5 seconds, copyright strike every 30 seconds. Like, you got to take this video down. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. We're just doing it. Jack wanted to do a reaction video, so something new. So thank you, Jack. Also, we couldn't have done it for something better. Next time,
we all suffer together.
Next time, let's just react to Hyraxes making funny faces. If you don't know what a Hyrax is, look them up. The little rodents that say "awa" the entire time, and I was like, it's and I showed Chibi. Is that little animal I showed you, Chibi, that said "mama"? Remember that one?
Yeah.
I was like, that's Chibi. Check's looking up the Hyrax right now.
How do you spell that?
Hyrax. Hyrax. So, any closing thoughts on the film? I don't want to stress this enough. We're just going to show like a lot of reaction clips in between. So this will probably be like maybe 35, 40 minutes. It'll be a short episode. Yeah. It's going to take me a while to edit this bitch. I ain't going to lie. I'm not looking forward to it. Chibi, any thoughts on this disaster class of a film? I apologize for making you watch.
I love Claptrap.
All right.
That's my only thought.
Perfect.
I'm enslaved still.
Basically, we were watching the movie. It just kept going after that part.
I'm enslaved still.
Jack, any thoughts on the film? Any final thoughts?
Nothing I haven't already said.
Eternal fucking sadness. Go, Jack. Listen. When me and Brad first were kind of like cautious about the movie after you showed it excitement, we didn't want to watch it to rub it in your face, brother. All right, we were just like, it's probably not going to be good. You know how it is. They were on this really high streak with video game adaptations. They were, and this set us back 10 years.
I mean, they could have just went the route that they did with Mad Max.
Brother, first off, everyone knows that George Miller is a god in film. I don't know if he could have fixed this. I don't know if Mad Max could have saved this movie. Although the practical effects would have been fucking fantastic. With that said, also watch Furiosa if you can. That movie is amazing.
Oh, that's a good movie. That's
Brilliant,
a really good movie.
Fucking movie, dude. I was so hyped watching that. It's so good.
I watched it on my way to England.
And dude, intensely brutal, right? There's some fucked up scenes in that movie, dude. If you have not watched Furiosa, please do yourself a favor. Fantastic. Brad, any closing thoughts on the why did the light show up?
Flashbang.
I opened up Wikipedia.
He flashbanged himself intentionally to burn the fucking the memory of the movie.
He tried to MIB himself.
He's like, Calvin.
I give him an A for effort.
Get the fuck out of here.
But you know, it's a real F for execution there.
I fucking hate this man. This man's a liar. This man's a liar. This man's a snake oil salesman. He's trying to lie to you.
They get the "you tried" sticker.
Oh,
But, I'd give him that.
What's that one Bart thing where like it's the GIF of like Bart Simpson where he pulls out the cake and says, "Hey, you tried." He dumps in the fucking trash.
No way, you just said GIF.
Did I say GIF? Oh man,
you did. You fucking.
Ooh,
traitor.
I want some peanut butter now.
I know. That's the first thing I thought of. I was like,
peanut butter and jelly. Okay, well, yeah. So we're gonna call this one. What's
We're gonna
next?
go to bed now.
Are we doing an anime
I'm about to
next?
fall
I can't
asleep.
remember. Whatever. We'll have Chibi decide on what we watch, and this episode will come out.
I thought we came up with one. I can't remember. We said Apothecary Diaries.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, put that in the chat.
Is announced.
Apothecary Diaries next. This episode's gonna be out fucking later than it usually is because there's a lot of editing I gotta do, and whatever.
Bless.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't watch Borderlands. Bottom line, don't watch it if you just.
But play it though. Play it.
Play it. TLDR. Don't watch, but play. Thanks everybody for watching.